Hi everyone, and welcome to our trunk show today. I don't know about you, but I certainly am looking forward to fall coming. Here in the part of Texas that we live in, it has been a very mild summer for where we have been at, meaning that we have not had very many triple-digit days, and it has already started to cool off. So I'm thinking about all the good things that fall brings around, and I love a change of season. I love that little quickness of coolness in the air. We don't have it yet, but I know it's just around the corner and it's going to be coming real soon. So we have class today, obviously, and we have class tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm really excited. We're going to be doing a trunk show of quilts that we have done in Quilt Club Week. Because those of you that have watched it, maybe you forgot and you want to go back and watch one of those again. And of course, we want people to sign up for Quilt Club Week that haven't done that. It's time to do that, and they can start watching the, I think, 5 previous years that we have. We started this in 2020, and I think it's just fun to look at the quilts and get get inspired and motivated. And so we're going to show some of those quilts tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing a sneak peek of showing you some of the quilts that we will be teaching this year. Now, Quilt Club Week is the 3rd week of September, I think. It's that last full week, so I think that is the 3rd one. And we've got like class today, class tomorrow. From now to the end of September for Quilt Club Week, we're just going to be teaching and motivating and showing you quilts and inspiring you to get to that sewing machine and get started. So what I want to, we've got a couple of little things I want to show you and tell you about, and then we have 2 focus quilts that we're going to talk about today that are certainly fall inspired. Now, this one that's up here behind me, this one is Trinity River Bridge, and we did Trinity River Bridge on Monday, August the 4th. So if you want to go back and watch that webinar, you certainly can. Now remember, we have a teaching website. It's squareinaSquare.net. So go to that teaching website. It's the easiest way to find stuff, and go to the webinar section, and then to go in there and just start looking around. There are hundreds of hours.
2025 was where these would be.
2025 is where these would be, because obviously we're in the year 2025. So go in there and watch, and you can see all of the webinars, and you can see Trinity River Bridge. Now, Trinity River Bridge we also did in Quilt Club Week last year, so you can go back and get more in-depth teaching on that in the Quilt Club Week teaching. And the main reason why I'm showing you this is because we only have 2 of these kits left. So if you're interested in this one, get in there and get it ordered. And of course, the squareinaSquare.com is our website where you go in to purchase the fabrics, the kits, the books, rulers, all of that. All of the products are there, okay? So Trinity River Bridge, and this one uses the diamond, and it's a great one to get started on if you're wanting to learn the diamonds. It's really a great one to do, to get in there and learn that diamond. Now, I also want you to take notice of this beautiful blue fabric that we have on the back and in that border. And this is part of our, just the yardage part is part of our fabric promotion for August, which means that I think we have 21 or 22 different prints that are on sale to the end of the month or until that particular one sells out. So let's look down here at the table so that they can get a screenshot of these. So starting from right here over to here, these are the 22 that are on special for August. These are our current fabrics. We're getting to the end of the majority of them. And the reason why we're highlighting these is because these are the ones that will go with the new fabrics that will be here in November. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek of some of those new ones also. And if you'll go back to the fabric video that we did when we started the promotion of the fabric, and I'm thinking that was August 6th. For some reason that Thursday, August 7th was when we did that video, and we went in and showed you many combinations of these and how they're going to go with our new fabrics. So these are part of the Paradise collection. These are the Paradise Bird, these are the diamond dots, and this one is the flower dot. And then these three here, and we're getting to the end of these. If you like these, you need to get those going. These are some of our little flower vine ones. There's 4 of those. And this little flaming bud that is I think it's listed as dirt on the website. Don't miss out on this one, because we're going to do some great stuff with this and some of our new. They're just so beautiful the way that they all go together. So don't miss out. And then if you're in Premium Club and you're on the Facebook page, Sherry showed her crossroad quilt, and she used this orange bow tie and this gray or dirt bow tie here in her quilt, and it was exquisite. She used for her background the yellow dirt fuzzy leaf and these two, and I'm not sure if she used some of these in it, but go in and look at that combination of fabrics that Sherry did and pick those out and put those together for any pattern or design that you want to make. They're just really, really gorgeous. So let's, do we have that? I'll need to move these. So hopefully you got a screenshot of these. I'll leave them up just for a moment longer. Now these are the new diamond dots that are coming. The black, the red, the black and red with tan, several different backgrounds. And this one right here, I am so excited about. Look how it looks with that, how it looks with this one. If you wanted to make like a college school color or a high school school color, a lot of the blue and the gold, these two would just be really, really pretty together to go in. And many of our fall quilts, that one will look really, really pretty with. And then we have some of these new grays coming, which I'm really excited about. And these grays will go with this new floral gray.
Oh, I can't move over there. Okay, I'll go back.
Okay, and then of course these. But I really want to highlight these 3 grays and how they're going to go with all of these different paradise, and even with this orchid gray and orchid one down here. So don't miss out on these that are currently on sale so that you can get the best money. Now I'm going to move these over and bring the new ones in. And like I said, go back to that August 7th video if you want to see more of the fabric combinations. And I'm running out of places to put all of my toys. So we'll just stick those up there like that. Okay. And then quickly, here are the new ones. And we'll do a fabric promotion for these in November. And I have some yardage coming. Hopefully I'll have time to get some things made up so you can actually see some patterns and designs. But I'm so very excited about these and how they mix and blend with our current ones. And we're just going to have some really, really pretty quilts with these. So I hope you're excited. The combination of when you start putting stuff together is just so fun and exciting. Okay, so let's look at some quilts up here. We'll talk about them, and then we'll do some demos. Almost every quilt you make starts out with, well, of course, everything you make starts out with what we call the basic square. And the basic square is just a square in the middle with strips on the side. And then the different ways you trim it up or square it up, you get all of these different triangle shapes that we call options. And there's option 1 all the way up to option 50. So, and there's one tool that makes all of it. Your work is smooth and flat, your points are nice and sharp, and it just helps remove that human element, which is the mistakes. So it's going to elevate you wherever you're at on that scale or that skill level. It's going to bump you up, just bump you up, not just a few, but measures up to where your work is going to be more fun. It's going to be more fast. It's going to be more fabulous. So when you look at the quilts that I'm going to show you today and tomorrow in the Quilt Club Week Trunk Show, we're so conditioned ourselves to look at a quilt, and if there's lots of pieces, or if they're small, or if there's unusual angles, or if there's points, if there's half square triangles, we look at them and we say, wow, that is a beautiful quilt, and I sure wish I could make one of those, but I probably never will. I don't have the skill level or the time. And so what we teach and what the system does is your work moves along quickly, you get good results, you know how to handle situations when something does go astray. We do the science of patchwork, we do overcutting, and when you just start understanding how the different things play out together, it really helps you move up that quilting ladder of success. And one of our little mottos is that you can become the piecer that you've always dreamed about. And you can look at quilts that are any level from simple to more elaborate, and know that you can do that. Every quilt we make, every quilt out there in the quilt world, will start out just like this, square in the middle, strips on the side. Those are easy to cut, those are easy to sew, and then you start trimming them up into your shapes. Your shapes are very clean and they're very neat. Therefore, they go together in the next grouping or the next section or the next row. Great. And so all of your stuff just starts coming together, and it just looks so nice, and it's so motivating that you get things done. You stay with the project to the end, so you don't have all of those unfinished items around. Your works in progress move quickly, they're very satisfying, they're very rewarding because they look so great, and I know that you can do it. And I have spent my life, almost 40 years now of my adult life, teaching and showing everyone how to do this, and I love it when you send me a picture. I looked at an email with a picture just right before class started today about this lady that had made this quilt, and it was very pretty. She did a great job, and she wanted to show me, and I'm so glad that she did. And you guys can do that. Anyone can send me an email, or you can use your Quilt Text hotline, and that number is 817-713-2879, and you can ask a question, you can get help. I love it because I can make a little video, I can show you in the books, I can teach you, and you can have that one-on-one with your teacher, even better than if we were in person in a class, because we're doing it at the level that you're at, not what the whole group of people is at, and you're asking a specific question to get a specific answer for what you're working on. Okay, so that brings us to this one right here. This one right here is the Double Storm at Sea, and this is one that we're going to be teaching during Quilt Club Week. This is our main quilt. It's our focus quilt. We have recorded a lecture that Kay and I did. Kay made the quilt and put it together, and so we're talking about it and we're showing different things about it. But I will be teaching live every day on this quilt, so you'll be able to have your questions right there with me. Now, I don't normally offer patterns and kits before Quilt Club Week starts, but this year I did, and so we have been showing this one. At retreat, people saw it at retreat in April, and so we've been starting to promote it and show it ever since then. And it's option 1, square in a square. It's option 2, meaning that you go around it twice. It's option 7, which is this diamond shape with these long thin points, and this wonderful outside edge, which is a game changer for setting triangle units. And using setting triangle units of the options like we did here has just started a wildfire in my mind about how we can use these on lots of different quilts instead of just plain triangle units, and really, really up our game just with that one step. So there'll be lots more coming with side setting triangles using the triangle units like option 9, option 8, option 13, all of those that the end result is a triangle unit, and it's going to be just amazing that you can use those options in that placement of those quilts for a side setting triangle. And in Quilt Club Week, the new one that's coming plus past ones, we have putting a quilt on point and doing it at diagonals, and that's basically when you would use a side setting triangle. Okay, so this one is out of the Shadow Fabrics, and I think I only have 7 or 8 kits of this one left. So if you're interested in this one, get it. The red fabric and the tobacco fabric we're just down to the very, very end of it, so that's why we can't do any more. Now, during Quilt Club Week, I will be teaching it out of the patriotic. So let's look at the patriotic ones.
I have a question.
Okay. Can you use a double storm at sea fabric with other fabrics? Yes. Yes, you may. Some of these that are in here in the other color values are the ones that we have on our fabric promotion for this month, and we're mixing them with the others. It's not a problem at all. And in this one right here, we've mixed them together, and we'll talk about it here in just a moment. But these are the fabrics that are in the patriotic double storm at sea. And I'm going to show you here. You can see kind of how we're putting it on the diagonal. So you can see how the quilt is sewn together on the diagonal, and this is, you're going to get the same color value with the patriotic as you do with the others. You can see the red row is the last row there, the red row is the last row here, and it's this is one half of it, and how the rows are put together on diagonal, and you can kind of see the pieces separated out. Now I'm going to walk out and flip it so you can see the other half sewn together. And these foam boards, if you go to like a big box department store, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, you can buy these foam boards, and then you can use it to put your quilting pieces up on too. So here you can see it coming together and just how the colors look. It's beautiful. I'm really excited about it. And that brings me to the 250-year anniversary birthday, whatever you want to call it, with America. Next year on the 4th of July of 2026, America will be 250 years, and we have all this patriotic fabric, and we're really wanting people to make quilts for history. This is something that women have done for hundreds of years, is that they've made the quilts to document and talk about the different points and parts of history that was important, and certainly 250 years is very important. So maybe you want to do the double storm at sea and do it out of the patriotic fabrics, and let that be your quilt to leave for history. And I think that's really fun. Now, for Premium Club members, we will be starting very, very soon, and we'll be sending some emails out for you on that. But next Monday, which is the 25th, I'll be showing the quilt that we're going to be making at during our fall semester of Premium Club, and it's out of the patriotic fabrics. We'll have all of the fabric quantities for you. If you need to order fabric, if you need to order a kit, we'll have all of that, and we'll do that on Monday of next week's. And of course, you can use the patriotic fabric, or you can use any, out of your stash, or whatever color combos you want. It's a beautiful quilt, and it would look great in Christmas or fall, or whatever your favorite colors are to work with. It will be beautiful in it, and it's a very easy light, medium, dark combination. So I think that will be great, and that for those of you that choose to make it out of something besides patriotic, it will be very easy to do that. Okay, now this one here is called Moonlight Star. We did this one, I think, in one of our quilting marathons. Maybe it was December of last year. And our marathons are when we do like a 2-hour class of a morning, a 2-hour class in the afternoon, the next day a 2-hour class morning, if we need 2-hour class in the afternoon. And we go through, and it's actually in my sewing room, and you see all of the steps in real time happen. And in between the 2-hour class of a morning and the 2-hour class of the afternoon, I still keep sewing, putting pieces together to move on to the next step so that you can see it in the afternoon. And you guys have really enjoyed that, and we're going to continue doing what I call the marathon quilts so that you can see all of one quilt done in days that are all together, and you don't have to wait to see the quilt progress along as you go. So this one is Moonlight Star, and I think we have like 4 or 5 kits left of it. We don't have very many kits left. It is a big quilt. Of course, you can cut it down and make 2 or whatever. I don't remember the size of it right at the moment, but I was wanting a big fall quilt to fit on my king bed, so this was the one that I made. And we also did it, I think, in January or so in my sewing room. In my sewing rooms, we did it, and we called it We the People. We did it out of the patriotic fabrics, and I only have one of those left if you want it in We the People. This one's called Moonlight Star. It has the orange moon star here in the middle with a little bit of the dark night sky and then the vastness of the night sky back there. And this one was really fun to put together and very easy to do. We used the 4-patch ruler. We used the option 3 flying geese here and here to make the outside points, and then here. And of course, this little Milky Way star is what I've always known it as. Some people call it the friendship star, but being the Milky Way star, I thought it was great to have these little stars twinkle in around our big moon stars. So this one is this one here is part of the shadows, the black star. You can see this darker black and the check, and a couple of these orange ones in here are part of the vintage fabric collection, and the other ones are a part of the shadow. So it's very easy to mix those 2 fabric lines together. This is really a fun quilt to make. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I always want to make a quilt in multiple colors just to see how it all turns out. So option 3 flying geese, option 4 half square triangles are what we use to make that one. So let's look down here at our table and let's cut some of these so that people can see just how easy it really is. So this is the mini ruler here. I love it. I use it all the time. I love having that 4-inch corner square here. Let me get it out of the glare, because I can pick it up, I can check a center square, I can check a strip, I can check a size. Everything is just all right there with one tool, one ruler that is ready to roll on my cutting table. And when I use it to do my options, you can see how it has, let me get out of this glare. There we go. Okay. So it has a 4-inch corner square. It has the 120 with 1/4 of an inch, and that's what we use for our diamonds. Over here is the 120 with 1/8 of an inch, and right here is the 90, and that's what you use when you have a square. A square is a 90. So that's the mini ruler. The original ruler, it has your 60 and your 120s, just like the mini does, and it has your 90. So when we do our trimming, you just put that 90 right in the tip of the corner, whether you're using original or mini or grande. Now there's a great video on the website for the grande. I can't remember if it's 20 minutes or 40 minutes, but it shows you, it's called multi-purpose, so it shows you all the different things that this one will do. And it has the 9-inch corner square, like this one has the 4 that we use so much. Sometimes you need a larger one. And then it has your increments for your squares and your strips. It has your 90 on here in the blue, so it'll do the 90 just like it does here and on the original. And then this one red line right here, that is the one that you use to help cut your diamonds. So it's just look how simple it is. Now, when we did Trinity and we did Pathway to the Stars, back on August the 4th, we showed how to cut the diamonds. And we show how to cut the diamonds in many, many different videos. So go in and watch those. It's really very easy to do. So this one is just kind of a scrap basic square that I have. And I didn't even, this was 2 pieces sewn together. And I didn't even rip those off because when I come in here and trim it up to get whatever shape I'm doing, if I need to trim or cut any of that off, I will. But there's no sense in me taking time or worrying about it until I know what's actually going to wind up in my shapes when I get finished. And that, everybody always says, oh, you waste fabric, or that sure looks like a great way to waste a lot of fabric. I hear all kinds of those comments and see those texts, but it's really very easy to come in here and reuse those pieces. So all these little trim offs that we're going to get, you just come back in and put those on your square, and then you have your basic square that you can come in here and make whatever option it is that you're wanting to make. So I'm going to take my 90 and I'm going to put it right here in the corner of the square that's in the middle. So the 90 goes right in the corner, the black lines go right over the seam. There's my 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to come in here and make that cut. And you just keep turning it, and you do all 4 sides, and that's your 90. And this is going to be your option 1. So each option is a different triangle unit. And of course, these little scraps that come off need to, you know, be the correct size to go on your square. So that's the only thing you have to think about. And in our Premium Club quilt that we're going to be making this fall, it's designed so that we make, see, I don't even have to worry about taking any of that off. None of that came out in any of the different units. So in our Premium Club quilt this fall, we're going to start out with the bigger options. So we've got quite a few large options in the quilt, which means you're going to have large pieces that you trim off. And so we're going to take those, and those will go in the next step for the next piece of the quilt that we're making. So you're really going to be able to get a great idea and the actual visuals of how to go back in and use those leftover pieces, because it's very easy to do. It doesn't have to be a strip. It can be one of those crazy triangle units that you trim off that you sew on the side. So that's your option 1. That's the square and a square. We leave the 1/4 of an inch on all 4 corners. Option 2 is when you sew around it again. Of course, your strips are wider and you just have larger triangles as you go around. So here's an option 2. So we had our square in the middle, our first row of triangles like you saw here. We put strips on it again, trim the same way, leaving the 1/4 of an inch. And there is your option 2. So you're going to sew around that center square 2 times or more. You can sew around it as many times as you like. Now option 3 is probably what made the square and a square famous. And option 3 is the flying geese. Flying geese, you need a 1/4 of an inch on the top or the beak area. And you need that seam to go right through that corner. When I come back in here and sew a 1/4 and a 1/4, there's my point right there, exactly where I need it to be. And of course, we know that when you have your flying geese, your option 3, how they can go in every quilt that you work on. Here's, you know, a star. So when I start out with my basic square, I want to trim, leaving the 1/4 of an inch on 2 opposite corners. And you saw how we did that on all 4. So we're just going to do that on 2 opposite corners. Put the 90 in. Now, if you're following any of our patterns in any of our books, we're going to tell you how much, you know, a pattern tells you everything you need to know. How much fabric, what size, what to cut, all of those different things. But if you're kind of doing your own thing, because we know flying geese, half square triangles are in everything you make, then you want the charts that are in the book. So this is the reference book. This is the main book. It's volume 1. It has your patterns, over 30 patterns. It has different block sizes. So you've got over 50 different block sizes. It has 12 pages of charts. So let's say that I want a flying goose a certain size. I'm just going to go to page 34. I'm going to find my option 3 flying geese. I'm going to look right here for the size I'm looking for. Let's say a 3x6 sewn. Then it's going to tell me what size of center square and what size of strips. So when I get this sewn up, these are exactly the size I need them to be to go into my pattern. So this is a must-have book, book 1, the reference book. Okay, so here's our 1/4 of an inch top and bottom, and you can see those here. This is what it looks like before we cut it in half. But since we're going to cut it in half and we have to make a seam allowance and move those points, we have to trim these other 2 corners different. And that's where we do the 2-step. So when I put my 90 into that corner, I'm just going to step it over 1, 2. And I want this second line, the 2-step line, to go right over the seam, and the point or the tip of that line right there is going to go right into the corner. So there's my 90 right in the corner. I, make sure it's all lining up the way it should, and then I'm just going to step it 1, 2, and it's going to go right into that corner, nice and sharp. And what that does is it moves the points and it creates a seam allowance in here so that when you cut it in half, everything will be right where it needs to be and be proportioned correctly. And of course, look and make sure it's staying square and nice and neat. And then just come in here and cut it in half through those sharp points. And there you have 2 perfect flying geese just like that. Now, if I want half square triangles, then I just do that 2-step on all 4 corners, cut and cut and cut in half. And that's your half square triangles like you need for little pieces like that. And let me see if I've got some in here. So here you can see how I had my square in the middle, just like I did here, my strips on the side, and see how I 2-stepped all 4 corners? That's because I'm going to cut through all 4 corners and get my half square triangles, just like that. So when you see how easily that all of these quilts are made and everything just starts out with a basic square like this, then it's very easy to come over here and trim it up into the different units that you need. And of course you can use any size, any color, and they'll make all of your different shapes for all of your different quilts. Now I normally in classes like this highlight the option 1, the option 3, the option 4, because that is what I call the core of the system. And once you understand that everything is that basic square and how to do the trimmings of leave the 1/4 of an inch on all of them for option 1, how to do the opposites for option 3, and then how to 2-step all of those for option 4, then all of these other options just play off of that. So my goal and with my students is I always say trim it like a 3. Well, you should know what a 3 is. Leave a 4th, 2-step. Trim it like an option 4. So if you understand those trimmings, then when you come in to trim the other ones and learn the other options and the other choices of shapes to build your quilts with, it'll be so much easier. And you'll realize that everything is just a repetition off of that. Now, when you go to the squareandasquare.net teaching website, there'll be an area where you can go in and it's an option overview. And you can go in and start from the very beginning of making your basic squares and then learning how to trim them and going in order of learning all of those. You can see the ones that build off of an option 1. You can see the ones that build off of the flying geese. You can see the options that build off of the half square triangles. And going in and learning those and learning the square ones is really where you need to start, so that you can get what we call the square eyes, so that when you start looking at quilts, wherever you go to look at quilts, you'll be able to start breaking it down into the different shapes and then the different options. And then you'll be able to use those charts in the book and build that quilt the way that you want it. Change the sizes, change the colors. It's all very, very easy to do. So let's look at this beautiful little quilt right here. This one is called Pumpkin Star, and we have kits for it. The quilt is 41 by 41. It includes the backing, the binding, the flange, the pattern. All of that is included in your kit. And we have just used the option 3 flying geese to make the points of the star. And then we did it's actually a 9-patch block, but the 9 patches are not all the same size. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is a 9-patch block. It's just that the outside is not the same as the in. And then this is your flying geese with to make your star points, and then just a plain square in the middle for that solid one. So this is a really cute little fall quilt. You can make it a little bit bigger to be a lap or a throw to put across your recliner or your couch, or at the end of your bed for your nap. You can make it larger. I really like this size. It's great to just kind of throw over the back of a chair, on a tabletop, up on a wall, on your fireplace. One reason why I want to show you guys the fall quilts now is because I'm ready to go take them and decorate in the house with them, and I don't want to have to take it apart to come back and show. But also you need them early so that you can start thinking about them and start getting them made and put together. Doing different combinations of just a few simple things, when you realize, if you're a cook, you know that there's flour, sugar, eggs, milk, potatoes, maybe some type of pasta, rice, your vegetables. There's only so many different foods out there that you put together to build and to cook. You know, think about Italian food. It's different pastas with different tomatoes and different sauces. And it's the combination of the way that you use just a few simple ingredients that create all of that wonderful Italian food. Think about Mexican food. You have a type of meat. You have lettuce, tomato, onion, a pepper, and then different types of shells or chips, different shapes, cut different ways, and it makes all the different Mexican food combinations. Well, that's really what quilting is. There's just a few simple shapes, and then it's the combination of putting them together that create all the quilts. There's solid squares, 4 patches, 9 patches, and the combinations of those. It could even be, and then there's like the rectangle shapes for like the split rail, or for like to go in here like this, which also the flying geese, the bats, the butterflies, the dragonflies, those new options in the new option book. Those all come out of the rectangle shapes. And then the different options of the half square triangles, flying geese, and so on. So it's just a combination of all of those that go together to build a quilt. Now this next one is double star, and it's an individual pattern. And I really like the way the pattern is laid out. It's got 2 different sizes of the pattern in there, and then it's got about 12 different sizes of the star. So you can go in there and make that star any size that you want to make the quilt larger or smaller, or just keep adding more in the rows to make the quilt larger. So let's look at this one right here. This one I have made out of it's called Double Star. I have made it out of the railroad fabric. It was wonderful. I've made it out of this fall combination of the purples and the oranges. I have made it out of kind of a baby blue for a baby quilt. Everybody's always saying, I need to make a baby quilt. What do I make? This one or this little star one, and just switch your fabrics up. I always say there's two things that you need for a baby quilt. One of them is you need baby fabric. Well, there's three things. Three things you need for a baby quilt. You need a pattern that's fast. These are fast. You need baby fabric, and you need a baby. So everybody's always wanting to make a baby quilt. Here you go. These are some great ones to do. And of course, just add your fabric to it that you want to make it that baby quilt. So here we've used the flying geese to make our stars here. And then here's the option one. So option one is great as a setting block. So make your focus block and then add your option one next to it. And look what happens. Look how these points circle around the focus block, and it makes a larger star. So you have a double star. You have the black one inside and the larger purple one on the outside. And this one we do have kits for if you like. We put the purple bird on the back. You can put anything you want on the back. But some of these oranges and these purples are on our August sale. So either go in and purchase some of those fabrics and make up your own little kit, or you can go in and order this kit exactly the way it is. Let's look at our pieces and let's see what we have. Okay, best fabrics to use for males. We have I tell you, for many, many years we were vendors, and we went to, Houston, rode to California, Paducah, and all the other shows in between. We would be in January at Road to California, and 2 weeks later be in Hampton, Virginia at that show. So we certainly traveled. But the point of that is that people would come in our booth and say, every time I think about making a quilt for a male, I always think about your fabrics, because my fabrics tend to, I think because of the colors and the shapes that we use, they're just all very, very much are loved by all of the different male people. It's not necessarily that there's fabric with a fish on it. It's just that the quilts and the colors that we make really make nice quilts for males. I'm trying to think. Any of those railroad ones, I recognized her name, the name on there, so I know she's seen some of the other quilts that we've done. But just any of these oranges and browns, any of those tones would be really nice to do. So if you need more help, just go to that text line and we can talk, and I can help you individually with that if you want more help with that. So we have that option, the basic square. Let's look at it. So here's our basic square here. We've trimmed it, leaving the 1/4 of an inch on all 4 corners. Does that maybe help you see it come out of there? And so we made our option one, and then we're just going to make our star. So here you can see how we've 2-stepped 2 corners, left the 1/4 of an inch, and then just come in here and cut it in half. Sew your corner squares on. And this is part of the overcutting. We always cut them larger so that you have room to square that block up to be perfect. So 3 together, 3 together, 3. This is a 9-patch setting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to make this, you're going to make this, you're just going to alternate them when you sew them together, and that is your quilt. Let's look back up here at the quilt. So your star, your option one, and see how they just alternate and repeat. If the row starts with a star, then it's going to start next time with the option one. And I really like this combination of the purple and the orange. I just think it's really pretty for the fall time of year. And that is our, let's look at our pattern down here again so they can see that. That is the double star. And I used 6-inch stars and 6-inch option ones, but you can go as small as a 3-inch and up to a 12-inch is included in that pattern. Now, when you talk about stars, I have to talk about the Americana. Now, when we did the train webinar, maybe that was last week. When did we do the railroad? I know, we were doing so much. We did, that one was Monday of last week on the, can't read underneath it, but it was last week on Monday. So would that have been the 11th maybe? I think so. So we showed it with the 6-inch star, just like this was a 6-inch star, and just like the pumpkin was a 6-inch star. We showed the Americana in the 6-inch star. But this is a scrappy one that I did. This is the 3-inch star. So you use, I think, 1 1/4-inch strips for here. And this was one that I did, I think it took me about 18 months. It was some that I did in the series that I called In My Sewing Room. So it was just be whenever I had time to just work and sew on something that wasn't work related, just for my own fun. And so people got to see this one come together. Now in Quilt Club Week this year, each day I have a scrappy class about how to organize your scraps, how to cut them, and some ideas of what to do with them, even if you can't see the finish line of what you're going to be doing with those scraps. Things that you can just make up, not really having a plan or knowing, to help keep those scraps organized and put together. And then how to move forward with them as we go along. So I'm really excited about those because I think you'll learn a lot and get a handle on your scraps of knowing what to do with them. But this one, I always, in this particular class, I said it usually takes me at least 18 months when I'm working on a scrap quilt. It's not a quilt that I'm in a hurry to get done. I'm working on it as my scraps come in so that I can keep my scraps in an organized manner and not have them take over in my sewing room. And also I like to do things that are kind of brainless. That way I can just sit down and sew, relax, not worry about colors, not worry about sizing, just sit down and sew and know that what I'm working on will go into a future project the way that you in a nice pretty fashion. And this is one of the examples. I had a really large batch of small pieces, so I was like, what do I want to do with all of those small pieces? So this is one of them that I did. Okay. Oh. So I have a quilt underneath. This one I want to show. Because it is a really pretty fall quilt and it's very easy to do. And I can't remember, did we say that we had it on the website or not?
We just had the fabric.
Did we add it?
I don't think so. What's it called?
This one is called Winter Solstice. And it's the star in the middle with the log cabin going around, and we've used the bat wings inside here to do it. Now if you want the pattern, it is in the bat wing book. Where am I at? There I am. It's in this bat wing book here. And if it's not on the website and you're interested in it, just email us and we'll give you the quantities for the fabric on it so that you can see it. It's really a pretty quilt. And this is all of the shadow fabrics. It's the golds and the blacks. All of the shadow ones. It's really a pretty one, and it's a fast, easy one to do. Now I'm going to show you two quilts. This next one is As the Crow Flies, and we're going to actually talk about it and teach it. I'm just going to show it, and it's in this book. Let's move our camera around. There we go. It's in this book right here, As the Crow Flies. So next, this is Tuesday, August 26th, so it's next week. As a Crow Fly and 'Tis the Season, but I wanted you to see this one because of the fall colors today while we were doing the fall one. really a cute little quilt. And sometimes the birds can be a little tedious, but we're going to do some overcutting and show you how to do it, and it will be very simple to do. And you can put as many crows in it as you want. If you're like, okay, I'm not making any more of those crows, then just scatter a few of them out through your quilt. I think there's 10 in this one, but you can do less if you want. And then look at the little stars. You can go in and put more little stars in there, but really just a really cute little quilt. And that one is As the Crow Flies. And I wanted you to see that one today because of the fall colors. Now this next one, if you've been watching the reels that we've been doing for weeks now, it is, a lot of those have been from a quilt that is called the Gold Rush quilt. And this quilt, the one I have one that I'm working on for the applique, and we did it in Quilt Club Week last year. So if you want more on this one, we did it in Quilt Club Week last year to talk about the applique and the piecing and all that. But you've been seeing some of the piecing of the Gold Rush block in some of those reels that we've been showing on the different social medias. And this is the first one that I made. And like I said, I think I've made 4. And we do have a kit. It's not this one, but it's very much these colors, and it's the colors you've been seeing in the reel. But this is the Gold Rush block, and 4 appliques in there. And if you don't want to do the appliques, just leave it solid and put the pretty quilting in there on it. But really a pretty quilt and great for fall. Do we have a question?
I think this one is
Kathy.
okay.
Hi, Kathy. Good to see you on here. What was the name of the quilt that was hanging with the double star that had the orange star and black squares? That one's called Pumpkin Star. And I think you're talking about this one right here. This one is Pumpkin Star. And this is cute. You know, if you don't want a fall one, you know, you can.
And the pattern is where?
The pattern is an individual pattern.
Okay.
Now, if you have some of our books and you know what you're doing, we have stars everywhere. So, you know, you can get that star out of lots of different things, and this one here, but we do have an individual pattern for it. Some of you have the skills to do it without the pattern, and that's fine. I'm here to motivate you and teach you how to make it beautiful. Okay. I think that's everything on my table. I might go over some of these books down here if someone's new, and if you have any last minute questions, get them in. I'm excited to show you quilts tomorrow at 2 o'clock from Quilt Club Week past and some that we'll be doing this year. And then Monday next week, I'll show you the semester quilt and have kits and fabrics for you. And then Tuesday next week, we'll do As the Crow Fly and 'Tis the Season. And we taught those at Quilt Club Week last year. So you can go back in and watch more in depth on those when they were the official class. And if you have any last minute questions, get those in. So let's look at some of our books and stuff down here. So this is the main book. This is volume 1. It's the reference book. It's the one that works with the square options. So that's options 1 through 17. This one is the diamond book. It's volume 2. And it has the options that use the diamond shapes. And there's over 200 stars, sizes of stars in here, plus all of the charts, so that you can be creative, how to do the different diamond options. And then of course quilts here in the back. We taught Pathway to the Stars in this little summer session, and we taught Trinity River Bridge, Crown of Thorns. Those were all out of here. And this little Crown of Thorn quilt, my original one that I made, I'm going to say 20 years ago, I have been using it on my breakfast table. And so I'm washing it about, you know, once a week or every 10 days or so. And the more I wash it, the softer it gets, and the more I love it, and it just develops so much cool character. Then this one is the Maylee book, and it has 34 patterns in it, and it has the quilts in it from the 3 novels, the threads of home, change, and courage. This one is option 44, and it has the firefly. The firefly is when you put multiple triangle units together, half square triangle units together, and it just is just a step up to put your half square triangles on steroids. Option 5 is the hen house. Absolutely obsessed with the hen house block and the shapes in that. Go back to Quilt Club weeks and see some of those. The snowball block is the crow fly and 'Tis the Season. And then our newest book that just came out this summer with the 3 new options, the bat wings, the butterflies, and the dragonflies. Go back and check out the teaching that I did to tell you all about these. This is the bat, this is the butterfly, and this is the dragonfly. And we're going to be doing a lot of dragonflies in our semester quilt coming up here in a couple of weeks. So we have a September calendar that we're going to get out to you. Look for it in the next email so that you can see our September dates and then all of the Quilt Club week dates and times and all that we're doing for that. Okay, did we have any questions from anyone? I'm looking around to see if there's anything that I haven't
Here's
shown.
one from Facebook.
Okay, and remember, hi Victoria, what's
the name of the quilt?
on the right with the stars and strips? Is that the Americana quilt pattern? This one here is the Americana. Whoops. This one here is the Americana, and when you order the pattern, the star goes from 3 to 12 inch. And then if you, this one here uses the bat, and it's from the new bat wing book, and it's Winter Solstice. Okay, so hopefully that helped. I think you were talking about this one.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was talking about. Do we have another question from anyone?
Don't see any.
We're good? All right, so we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we will look at past quilts and future quilts. That sounds like, what's that, Charles Dickens' Christmas story? Christmas past and Christmas future and all that. So we'll do that tomorrow with Quilt Club Week. I hope you've enjoyed it, that you've gotten inspired, seen some colors to come together, and don't forget about the fabric sale that goes to the end of August, okay? All right, that's all for now. We'll see you down the patchwork